Hello Aquarius, welcome to your April reading. So Spirit, when I tuned into your energy for the month of April, they showed me you on a pilgrimage. It was a really interesting series of images. It was like somebody walking through their whole life, as if you could travel to wherever it was that you were like raised, you know, childhood home. And if from there you literally started walking. And if you were just being shown of clips, here's you walking through that city, and now here's you walking through this city that you moved to, and here's this and that, and watching things morph over time. So you're showing me you on this pilgrimage saying you are on your way somewhere now, right? In the present moment, you are on your way to being a more authentic version of you, selecting a path that feels like this is what I want, this is who I am. And to do that, there is some resolving of old conflicts, old stories, old questions that sit in your past. And I'm not talking about necessarily, maybe some of you can, but I'm not talking about like going to people from your past and talking to them and resolving. That might be the case for some of you. If that's possible and healthy and effective, great. But I feel more like just you reflecting on where you have been. Spirit is showing me something interesting, which is like, you don't have the tower, okay? We haven't pulled your cards yet. If you do, we'll find out. But like the Spirit is showing me and saying essentially, if you could look back on your life and make a timeline of towers, this was a moment where something really shook me or scared me or scarred me or changed me. And if you could reflect on each one of those big moments in the timeline and consider what you learned, what you need from that, what you need to address that, to support yourself through that, etc. If you are willing to look back and resolve some things, it is like dissolving, detaching, cutting your hot air balloon loose from the posts and the ropes that hold you into the ground, that limit your perspective. Okay? That's what I'm hearing. Okay, let's get into the story of your month, shall we? What a way to kick off. Where you are going and who, wow, who you are being. Let's see what that was. Wow, jeez. Where you are going. Oh, let me hide here. Where you are going and who you are being, and then we have the Chariot, is entirely possible. The big victory, I'm shuffling it back in for the record. The big victory, which is what the Chariot represents, the overcoming of obstacles, the beating the big boss kind of moment, right? That comes in, that is entirely possible. It's present, it's here for you. If you're willing to release this like weights, these encumbering perspectives and nagging voices and just unfinished business, loose ends from the past that you want to tie up and move forward from. And Aquarius loves to feel unencumbered. So what can you do to drop weights that still hang out and kind of clutter up your mind, clutter up your path? Woo! Have any of you seen A Straight Story, I believe is the name of the movie? The vision that Spirit was showing me looked a lot like that, so it reminded me of that. Some of you might benefit from watching that movie. It's very different from most Lynch movies, so if you're like, I don't really want something weird, this is actually a very straightforward, like biographical movie. I haven't even seen it, but Spirit was showing it to me, so they're saying you need to see it. I know the premise, but I want to let you find out what's happening. But let it be known someone goes on a pilgrimage. So you're going to resonate with it and the things that Spirit was saying in that way. Okay, all right. Let's pull these cards. Let's look at the layout of the month of April for Aquarius. Spirit, we want to know what you want to bring to their awareness for their highest good. What they need to know. From the recent past as it pertains to the present and the unfolding future. We want to know how they are showing up and how life is showing up to meet them, Spirit. In the month of April, what is showing up? What is asking for awareness? What do you want to make Aquarians aware of for their highest good, Spirit, to give them the best access to ease, peace, abundance, fulfillment, joy? Perfect. Aquarius sun, Aquarius moon, Aquarius rising. Show us the lay of the land, Spirit, to help Aquarius navigate for their highest good. Wow. Man, Spirit, do not mess around. I know if you've been listening to me for any length of time, you probably heard me say it before, but here we go again, because Spirit always knows what they're talking about. So, your persona card for the month of April, Queen of Swords. Queen of cutting through and unencumbering herself, right? Cutting through the noise, gaining clarity. The Queen of Swords has a wisdom, and it is for all that she is a Queen of Swords, she is still a queen. And a queen cares about the people and the community. She is not, slicing people to ribbons unnecessarily. She is very deft with her sword, very careful with her sword. She is also the representative of a person who has some tough stuff in her past. So exactly what Spirit was referencing about there are some things that just need resolving. Be careful, clear, gentle, but what's the opposite of brutally honest? Gently honest, like that. Gentle honesty is usually what helps people change or recognize or grow a little bit more than brutal honesty, if we can be clear. It's not the Page of Swords or the Knight of Swords. It's the Queen who takes great care with her words and therefore is sometimes even more effective than the King at getting her message across. Okay? Okay. So sitting in the past, the moon. Unresolved things from the past that are seen in... Spirit is showing me, you ever watch a scary movie before bed and you wake up in the middle of the night and there's a fucking monster in the corner of your room. But when you turn on the lights, it's the pile of laundry that you should have done that's sitting on the chair. Things are not what they seem. You may be looking at your past through a lens that is a little bit smeared, a little bit smudged. There are things hiding in the dark of your unconscious, patterns that you just fall into without thinking about it. That's another way of saying things that are in your unconscious. Habitual things, the tapes that play in the background of your day always. You're really bad at that, or you're really good at that, or like life is good, or life sucks, or whatever. The tapes. The stuff that you're not going out of your way to think about that or do that or want that. It's just happening. It's just who I am. When people say, it's just who I am, about parts of themselves they don't like, that is a person who has not examined themselves and the reason that they do things, right? So you're being asked to look at your confusing, darkened unconscious and bring it to light. The Queen of Swords brings clarity, and the present moment, the moon shifts into the world, literally the card of understanding, of graduation, of being like, oh my God, now I get it. Holy shit, I get it. Going from literally, I'm so confused, I don't understand, I don't know where I'm going, I don't know where I am, I don't know what I want, the moon, confusion, to holy shit, this is why I had to go through that, and this is why I met that person, and this terrible situation gave me this insight that I've forgotten or left in the past because I didn't want to deal with it and I just wanted to keep going, I just wanted to move on. Recognition, realization, graduation, leveling up is what we can call that. Leveling up. Spirit is showing me you being able to, we said leveling up, and then they were showing me like, okay, let's keep going with that video game thing. Being able to look at like what they're showing me is old school, because I'm fucking old, okay? They're showing me like the old school Mario Brothers and how you'd be able to look at the map of all the worlds. They're showing me you having that kind of view of your life. So that thing they showed me earlier with the timeline, it's a little bit like that. It's like, oh, when I look at it like that, I know exactly why I am where I am and what I need now, or what I want to do now, based on these, my fears, my challenges, my desires, my unrequited this, that, and the other things. This is what I want. This is what's next. The world, graduation, understanding. The future, the power continues. The Emperor. Power. control, wealth, boundaries, things associated with the Emperor. Managing your life, managing your power really well. Be careful, Aquarius, of not becoming strict with yourself. That's the one thing I want to say. Between the Queen of Swords and the Emperor, even our own, like, we can make our own revelations and like, we don't want to get dogmatic. Okay? You hear how quiet everything got outside right when I said that? We don't want to get dogmatic. There's room to move, there's room to screw up, there's room to, for example, come to a world level realization and then slip back into habits, the unconscious. This is why learning something, realizing something is not the end of the fucking road. Realizing, oh, I need to stop smoking does not make a person quit smoking, right? Like, realizing, oh, this person is bad for me does not make people leave people, right? They can slip back into unconscious old habits because that's just what the programming has been. So the realization has to come with movement and has to come with commitment. You know, I'll compare that to that chariot that hopped out earlier. Chariot is about commitment. If I want to say that, like, I'm not going to be mean to myself anymore, or I'm no longer going to hang out with this type of person, or like when a person shows me this type of red flag, I'm going to stop seeing them or whatever, then we have to keep that, whether it's on a fucking post-it in our world or in our heart. We have to keep that, and we have to live by that. We have to realize that that's a compass point, and that if we have the tendency to overgive or to get anxious or to whatever it is, that there are certain things that we can do to shift that energy on purpose rather than just falling back into the way that we've been. So I see you managing yourself and your realizations really well. Just be kind to yourself. You have support. Ten of Pentacles is in the climate around you, the energy around you. Ten of Pentacles is money. It is also family. It's security. It's the protection of the people around you. So you have safety. If you're wondering at all this month about, like, am I going to be okay? April looks good. April looks safe. If anything, it might be a little bit boring. That can be the Ten of Pentacles sometimes, even though it's like, oh yeah, I have enough and I want something else. And then we have this world that is a graduation and the Emperor. So I see it coming for you. Let's come to the advice. Four of Cups. Don't miss your blessing because you're counting your empty cups. Life is offering you something, and it comes from going on that pilgrimage and getting curious rather than sitting and staying in the thoughts and the realms that you've been in. You don't even have to leave your house to go on this pilgrimage. It is literally gentle, loving, and clear-eyed, Queen of Swords, reflection. And even we could say analysis of the things that you've been through that are, again, unfinished or loose ends or just weigh on your mind, that the only way they're going to get resolved is through you approaching them and resolving them. I will say also that for those of you who either are already in therapy or those of you who've been thinking about, like, maybe I should get some therapy, that would be fucking great. And I wish that we could, it's happening more and more, but I wish that we could take all of the taboos and the shame off of going to therapy. If every person in the world was able to talk about their difficult or shameful or vulnerable feelings with somebody who was kind and empathic and well-trained, we would be living in a much better world. So if you have access to somebody who can help you look at your past or look at your experiences with a clear, calm, helpful eye, engage that person. Sitting in the key position, Eight of Swords, whatever you do, do not hold yourself back. Do not stay still. Same as the Four of Cups, the guidance, right? Like, your blessing is here, but it's not going to come from sitting and stewing in the same thoughts, in the same place. It's going to come from being curious. It's going to come from being vulnerable and brave, right? The world is naked like the star is naked because she learned her lesson. The sun is also naked, right? This is who I am. I don't have to be ashamed of any of my experiences. I don't have to be ashamed of any of my mistakes. I particularly will have less shame around my mistakes if I understand what I needed to learn from them and to be able to do differently. So you have access to that. Temperance, finally, is sitting in the position of the potential outcome. You could come to a much more healthy, balanced, easeful place, a more gentle and moderate place. Temperance is going gently. Temperance is, I can change a little bit at a time. I can get healthier a little bit at a time. I can quit smoking a little bit at a time. I don't have to go cold turkey on this person or habit or way of thinking. But I'm willing to make some slight adjustments that don't freak out my mind and my nervous system. I'll smoke one less cigarette today. I will meditate for 1 single minute every morning this week, or whatever. And I will be gentle and gently incorporate some things that feel like they would be healthy for me, and just see what happens, see what moves, is what Spirit is saying. So going from any kind of stilted or stagnant place to things gently, lovingly moving a little bit at a time. Spirit is saying something very clearly is whenever we are attempting to, I'm going to use the word they used, purify ourselves. I don't mean be pure. I mean to cleanse ourselves of illusions, of false armors and ego protections, and etc. When we attempt to cleanse and become more like the star, more like the sun, more like the world, right? When we take off all that bullshit, we're like, this is who I am. The good, the bad, the ugly. I don't hate any of it. I love every part of it. I might not like myself all the time, but I love myself all the time, right? Like you would with like a little 5-year-old who's throwing a tantrum. If you're healthy and well and emotionally stable, you're not like, I hate you, you little turd. You're like, wow, inside, they're being a little turd right now. Okay, what does this little turd need right now? Hey, do we need a nap? Do you know what I'm saying? Okay. How does that sit on you, Aquarius? I hope that is helpful. It's a very powerful month. You can make some really incredible fucking empowering changes if you are willing to go look for the blessing that wants to show up for you. If you're willing to only look to the past to see what needs to be brought into the present with you and what can be left. Much love to you. Hope I catch you at the Saturday Live. Till then, bye, Aquarius.